Most contractors don't have a business problem, they have a systems problem. If you're stuck doing between $1 to $3 million per year, and you're constantly wondering why none of that revenue is actually hitting your bank account, then listen closely. I'm gonna tell you exactly what I wish somebody told me when I first started my business. All right, so look, I'm gonna be real with you. I didn't learn from reading books. I didn't graduate from college. As a matter of fact, I dropped out of college. I grew up in this trade. My grandfather taught me the trade. My father taught me the trade. Roofing is just who we were. And because I was really good early on, I thought I was untouchable. I was the installer, the salesman, the project manager, I can do it the best out of anybody else guy. That was like my mindset before in my early 20s. And that mindset almost destroyed everything that my family had built. I was operating and running crews under my dad's license early on. See, early on, I made that classic mistake that I thought the more I worked, the busier I were, the more money and the more productive that I would be. But that was completely opposite. I confused bringing on a bunch of revenue as being profitable, took on huge jobs, and we just weren't ready for those jobs at the time. And I ended up driving my father's company closer and closer into debt. That wasn't because I didn't work hard, but mainly because I didn't know my numbers. I didn't know what a balance sheet was, how to read a P&L, how to job cost properly. I didn't know what margins I had to make. I didn't know about overhead. I didn't know that one mistake on a big proposal can just wipe out an entire month's worth of profit. So that's when a big reality check had hit me. If I continued to operate this way, I would have bankrupted my dad's company. So I took myself off of that pedestal and I joined a local roofing company at that time in San Diego. And it was there that I learned all about systems and processes and operations and how to organize everything on the back end. I was only there for a few months and I did really well there, well enough that I was actually recruited from another solar company that was growing fast at that time. Now, I was recruited to build the roofing division for that solar company and we skyrocketed. Unfortunately, the solar industry was rocked a few years ago in California and the company had to close its doors. So from there, I had a choice and I chose to step into roofing for myself again and opening up my own company to implement everything I learned from the systems and processes with one roofing company and then dealing with volume from the solar company. So we started our business. And within the first month, our biggest revenue generating client, which was SunPower, went bankrupt on us. And our first month left us with over $200,000 in receivables. $200,000 in receivables in our very first month. Most companies would have folded and closed its doors. But because I had a really good reputation in the industry and I built really good relationships, I was able to negotiate a payment plan back with my vendors because I still had to pay everything out of pocket on my end for all the labor and the materials. So it was that moment that forced me out of thinking like an owner operator and really helped me strategize on operating my company like a CEO. Look, and here's the truth. You can be the best worker in the world, the hardest worker in the world, but it doesn't matter if you don't understand the financials. If you don't understand systems and job costing and budgeting and strategic planning, you're gonna be stuck at a ceiling that you'll hit and you'll be stuck there forever. Because face it, most contractors can sell, most contractors can install, but not a lot of contractors know how to run a profitable, scalable company. And that's why I created S.C.A.L.E. The S.C.A.L.E method is a roadmap that I wish somebody had handed me early on. So the S.C.A.L.E method is simple. Starts with S, which is systems. And most contractors, they just want to get more leads, but what they really need are systems. Systems to keep track of job level tracking, budgeting systems, proposal systems, inspection systems, communication system, production systems, just systems in general, because every single job, it needs to be tracked like its own business. Every receipt, every invoice, every delivery, every hour of labor, every piece of material, and every vendor cost needs to be allocated to each job, and here's why. If your materials are trending at 40 to 45%, but they should be at 30 to 35%, that tells you something. It tells you either you have a pricing issue or maybe you need to negotiate your material costs down with your vendor. See, that one little tweak right there can take you from break even to 5 or 10% extra net profit And when you're at $3 million a year, 5% is a lot of money. Look, when every department has its own KPIs, when every job is analyzed, your business becomes predictable, profitable, and scalable. Next is clarity. Clarity removes fear. It makes you gain control. Look, right now, most contractors don't know if they're actually even making money. They see revenue, but not the profit. They see busyness, but not productivity. You must know your real margins, your true break even, your true overhead structure, your cash flow projections, your pricing strategy, your division metrics. When you gain financial clarity, you make decisions with confidence instead of emotion. The stress goes away, the guesswork goes away, and the business finally becomes logical. When you understand your numbers, the market stops controlling you, and then you control the market. Now that leads us to accountability. This is where most contractors fail. You cannot scale if you're still working in the business. So your team needs scorecards, KPIs, clear responsibilities, incentives that drive performance, weekly reporting rhythms, standards, expectations, accountability. You want to know the 3 key hires that help elevate my business? A kick-ass sales rep, a kick-ass supervisor, and a financial controller who tracks every single dollar. When your team becomes accountable, you finally get your time back, and the business grows without you having to do everything manually. This one's my favorite, and it's leadership. This is the identity transformation. See, this is when the business grows as you grow. Leadership is how you delegate, it's how you communicate, it's how you plan, make decisions, build culture, attract talent, create direction, stop being reactive, start being proactive, and being strategic. Leadership is the difference between a contractor and a CEO. Leadership is the thing that shifted everything for me. Now we're on E. Never running on E, but on E, which is expansion. Expanding into commercial roofing. This is where everything comes together. You see, the residential keeps you busy, but commercial makes you wealthy. Residential is really competitive. It's like a red ocean, but it's very emotional and price driven. And commercial is slower, it's strategic, relationship based, and higher margins. See, here's a difference in real numbers. Residential gross profit fluctuates from 30 to 35%, but our commercial gross profit fluctuates from 50 to 60%, especially when you get into coatings. Residential average ticket size, $20,000. Commercial average ticket size, $40,000 to $50,000. Our HOA communities, $250,000. Look, if you're stuck in residential only, you're leaving a lot of money on the table, but not going to commercial. Look, if you want to break into commercial roofing, you got to build trust. In commercial roofing, you're not just selling a roof. You're selling clarity. You're selling relationships. And most importantly, trust. Because 80% of the people that you talk to, they're not homeowners. You know, they're property management companies, they're gatekeepers, they're maintenance people for their commercial buildings or their HOA staff. You need clarity, and that's going to come in the form of an inspection report. You have to build a killer inspection report and keep it simple. I mean, simple explanations, no technical jargon, give them good, better, best options. And shoot, even toss in like a personalized video walkthrough. You can even use AI tools now to clean up your inspection reports and make them done quick. This is going to separate you from the guys that are still using Word documents or don't even know what a CRM is. Look, next you have to understand the customer experience. With residential, it's all about speed. With commercial, it's all about trust. See, residential homeowners, they compare 3 to 7 bids, and as soon as you walk out that door, your chances of closing them drop about 30%. With commercial, it's all about relationship building. You see, the commercial decision makers, they're all about professionalism, clarity, reliability, organization, and most of all, consistency. With residential, it's a sprint, but with commercial, it's a marathon, but with a much bigger payout. Look, with commercial roofing, you need to be their go-to roofer. It's not about being the cheapest. It's about being the best, consistent, reliable, and communicative, okay? OSHA compliant crews, professional branding, clear warranties. Did I say communication? Definitely communication. You see, eventually, they're just gonna go to you. They're not gonna get those 3 to 7 bids anymore. They're gonna come to you directly, and then you're not competing with anybody else. You become incumbent. See, commercial roofers are hunters, right? They're going after the kill with every single residential house. With commercial, see, we're farmers. You have to switch out of the hunter to farmer mindset. You're gonna plant a lot of seeds, do office visits, drop off postcards, buy data, call them, and when you get a hold of them, don't go after the big kill at first. Offer maintenance plans, small repairs, so nurture your client and really take care of them. Truly take care of them. Because eventually, when the time comes, you're gonna have a huge opportunity for a full roof replacement or restoration. And those contracts can range from $50,000, $250,000, $500,000. It really just depends on your contact and the relationship that you built. So that's a different mindset that you have to switch out of immediately when making the shift
from residential to commercial. And shoot, this client here behind me, he manages a portfolio of hundreds of thousands of squares throughout the United States. Here in California alone, the portfolio that he has can keep our entire company busy for the entire year. These relationships that just don't sprout out of nowhere. You have to earn them. But if you do it the right way, you can earn not only relationships with property management companies, but you earn yourself a business that you can be proud of. Okay, listen, it's not gonna be easy. It's gonna take hard work. It's gonna take a lot longer than you think, and you're gonna have to spend some money. And trust me when I say you're gonna lose. You're gonna lose a lot until you start to win. But if you do it correctly, if you do it strategically, and you come up with a nice financial plan and strategize correctly, you can build a company that you're actually proud of. A company that your team will wanna work at, and of course, a company that's gonna make you a lot of money. And eventually, you can start doing big commercial projects like this and have a fleet of trucks with a group of guys that's gonna back you up 100%. Because face it, jumping from residential to commercial is hard, but if you do it right, that jump from residential to commercial is gonna be worth it.
Look, if everything I said is clicking, if you need help installing these systems into your business, if you're ready to scale with higher margin commercial roofing opportunities, then here's the next step.
Let's book a strategy call today. On that call, we're gonna break down your numbers, identify your bottlenecks, and map out a personalized scale plan and show you how to build a profitable, scalable business. If you're tired of being stuck and you're ready to build the infrastructure that grows the company, click the link below, apply now, and let's scale your business today.